You are watching Xirtus.
To me, it seems like there should be more hope because this is a critical time when you're able to interact so directly with the president or with the politics. You couldn't do this with the Clinton administration. You certainly couldn't do this with the Kennedy administration. It was impossible to do this with the Roosevelt administration. Before democracy, there was no even conception that you could interact with your leaders and see how you could be part of the government. And we're seeing these 19-year-old kids fixing the Federal Reserve and Doge. I mean, to me, it seems like a window into time. And we talked about this all of our lives. Hey, the system's collapsing. The world's falling apart. It's a conspiracy. We need a new system. Well, now we're here. And if you don't want to be your own future's dictator, despot, then you need to now start working on the solution. We pointed out the problems. Maybe we could continue to do that, but we really should be trying to work towards, okay, what are we going to end up with in 20 years? Because it's either going to be more hangings on daytime television than Star Trek predicted and Starship Troopers world with fascism and everything else, or not. And we should probably be working towards figuring out, like, are we going to have food for everyone? Because we could really end suffering. We have so much efficiency, so much technocracy. We could end suffering. I mean, on the abstract idea of whatever that means, we could take away the suffering of children and of workers and of everyone. So to me, it seems like a good time to start focusing on that, trying to figure out, okay, can we use any of these things, or do we have to get rid of all of it? Because we might just get like a nuclear bomb, wipe out all of the corporations, go back to a reset, be living in huts or living in mud huts. Or maybe we say, like, hey, like Fidel Castro and Che Guevara, like, let's move into the government building. Let's use the government building. Let's move into the McDonald's. Let's use the McDonald's. And either we're saying, don't do that. It will corrupt and destroy you to even be part of that system. I think Genghis Khan and Attila the Hun both, they would, Attila the Hun especially would go into towns and burn them down. He's like, go in, tell everyone to leave. You guys have to walk out of your houses and go out to the field. And then they would destroy the town. That way there was no more, I mean, particularly cities, because he thought that cities were destructive to the natural way of life. And it made, like, why do politicians exist? Why are they corrupt? Well, cities. So let's just wipe them off the face of the earth. Maybe that's what you're saying. And we need to go back to this sort of anti-techno Luddite Maoism, Amish Maoism. Maybe that's what you're saying, but I don't know if that's true. I think we might be benefited. I mean, when I see that there are like McDonald's has like touchscreen AI systems, they're using SCO military grade Unix. There's just so much more to that system. It's hard for me to say, oh, it's the worst thing and we should destroy it, because it's like they used all of that, all the incentive of money and everything else to build the system. So should we just sacrifice the blood, sweat, and tears of all the workers and all of the suffering people? Or can we find a benefit in that? Can we turn? That's why I think it's interesting that Europe has healthy McDonald's and that RFK, everyone's freaking out. RFK is this health guy and he's talking about McDonald's. But to me, that seems like a really good step, because if we're trying to make the lowest common denominator the healthiest option that it can be, that seems like each according to their needs. That seems to me like, I mean, what you said earlier, Trump Leninism, that Trump is more Marxist than people realize.
I hadn't heard that take. I missed that part, but that's an interesting
I called Trump a communist.
He is.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Hold on. Well, because it's like they're talking about we only have like 2 or 3 years before we can like consolidate global power and join the Galactic Federation of Light. Mm-hmm. According 15, to however, it's like
how long
has been around since the 70s.
How long did you say? How long do you think until the
2027? I think was the figure that I heard. There's some kind of contract drafted up with like the benevolent aliens. And if we don't fall in line quick enough, then we're sort of at the will of the not so nice ones, possibly
the reptilians.
Yeah, well, there's a few different reptilian ones, I guess, and there's some that are meaner than others, and the ones that are the meanest are the ones that are not psychic or something, because only like certain non-human intelligences have like cracked through that and have like an innate psychic ability. Some of them have like a artificially enhanced psychic ability. I was listening to some whistleblower, like he was either like read into something real or he just got like psyoped for 20 years by his the people who are above him. But yeah, no, they were talking about how the secret space program, how, you know, we have people that have been like sent into space on our ships, the reverse engineered alien technology. And
my intuition tells me we have access to all the psionic abilities based on like ancient texts and ancient practices.
Yes.
I don't know. I don't know why every time like aliens come up, I always think about like ancient spirituality and esoteric traditions and stuff. And I feel like it's intuitively, I feel like it's linked some way, somehow. I'm not an expert, but I just feel it, you know?
Well, that's why this is like a battleground of sorts for all those, you know, other players, wherever they're from, whenever they're from, whatever sort of alternate reality they.
Yeah, their source is it could be Lucifer, it could be God, it could be AI. You know, it's like
this is like a crossroads, a huge like interdimensional, interplanetary, intergalactic, spiritual crossroads.
Intertime space, because it seems like we're hitting a point where the future is affecting the past and everything that we're talking about. I mean, these are all goals for us. We're talking about gods and devils and things, and like these are goals for human realization. People that want to become Ubermensch, they want to become gods. People want to become something. I don't know. You saw this article about the quantum entanglement breakthrough that they're thinking that they can entangle with quantum computers, multiple computers from multiple dimensions or multiple times. And this might be the first way that we're able to send data from the future back to machines in the past. And if you can do that, then you can send directions on how to make your computer see hypertext, right? So this is why HTTP is so important in 89 and why you can send plans back to build the i386 processor as big as you have to build it in the 50s. And this whole idea that we're pipelining technology from 2040 back to 1940s, 1947 even, and that we have a project Looking Glass, so that we can actually communicate through computers with ourselves in the past. And that seems like 27 is the Stargate project to 2040, right? 2040 is the Phoenix event. But yeah, quantum breakthroughs.
Andreas, are you ready for the quantum breakthroughs?
I'm as prepared as I think I can be, but I'll be surprised in 2040 how different I am. I'm sure the world will change a lot more than we're changing so fast, right?
There's one thing I'm going to stay away from. I'm definitely going to stay away from microchips in the brain. And yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
I'm just not sure. Even I think that's funny. Like, I think they're telling us about hardware so that we're not afraid of the software.
Yeah, I mean,
they're like, hey, don't even worry about 5G because let's worry about you volunteering to put a chip in your brain. The idea that you couldn't be radio controlled without the Neuralink is ridiculous.
I was going to say it's probably redundant.
I think it's at first going to be useful for them to study the human brain with the Neuralink, but very quickly that technology will end up being wireless without any sort of need for the chip itself.